So I've had a really busy last few days, and I thought I'd talk a little bit about workflow management. So when I'm not making YouTube videos, I have a business to run, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. So I figured maybe some people are interested in this. And what I'm doing right now, and this is kind of a live, I'm waiting for messages to come back from my employees, and I've got Slack open, and right now I have a group of guys building infrastructure for a client. Now, part of the way that works for us is people inside the office, and it happens to be me because it's 7 in the morning, and so he's out there installing, and we're out here doing the inside workflow. And the way this works to keep things simple is, as my guys are deploying things out in the field, someone on the inside will be checking and watching the setup in real time. Because what that does right now, if you can see the screen behind me, make sure I shrink my window a little bit here, you can see that there's a pending upgrade right now, so we're upgrading a Wi-Fi. And then we have these other ones here. Now this pending one, we're pushing it remotely. He's actually on site at the client and setting these up. So as these go live, we go ahead and name them, because this one's going to be called Office Wi-Fi, which I think I can name even while it's upgrading. Yeah. So this one's going inside the office. And what this does is gives it a really nice, easy workflow. So as they install everything, we already have them named. And then the next step after is going to be the cameras, because this is a Wi-Fi and camera install system and the drops. So as each component becomes live, we go ahead right here and name them, get them set up, so everything is clear, done all in one step. Then at the same time, internally, we're creating a documentation kind of as we go. So, all right, Office Wi-Fi set up, here's the settings, but it's easy for us because this one's managed on our managed services plan, because this is a managed client. So it's one of those things that I think a lot of people think about is, if you just put one guy out there and have him do it all at once, he becomes distracted with all the things. Because I have one person focused on only the install side, once he plugs in live, he sends the message, just plugged in Office Wi-Fi, it should be live. We get the message, we look for it on the dashboard, we see it show up and become live. In this case, we've had to push an upgrade to it, and boom. We're done. This one's labeled. As soon as these ones come live, these other ones up at the top here, we're going to get those labeled. And as we're doing this, we also go through in the wiki for this client, create all the documentation as needed. And if there's any changes versus the plan that was first laid out, those are documented in real time. So this is something that I don't think a lot of IT people think about, is as you build out your team and you focus each member of your team on a very specific thing, they become very, very good at it. And that way you're not this jump back and forth. And this allows us to get projects done really fast. So he's going to just run around plugging them all in. He doesn't have to think about any of the other aspects of the job. He just focuses on the task assigned. Then the internal guys, because we're sitting in a nice office, we're not climbing up in ceilings, and this is actually a big warehousing project, so that's not going on. So we don't have as much to worry about in terms of getting distracted by whatever else is going on there. So this is how we keep our documentation clean. This is how we keep the process moving forward and tested. This also is really good for the camera side of it. So as he calls in for the cameras, we're going to be saying, up a little, down a little, over a little, and there may be some final fine-tuning that the client wants in case the client's not available to look at the camera view in real time, but it's the same thing. He's up on a ladder. He doesn't have to worry about it. He just points to the right, points to the left, we get it done, he moves on to the next camera. He's not having to worry about, okay, I got to put this down, break this down, come back again, and adjust these cameras a second time after I make sure all the wiring's working. So I just want to talk about that. That's kind of the workflow, and it's sometimes what keeps me busy and what I'm doing when I'm not making YouTube videos, is coordinating all these projects, dealing with client changes, because they always change around a little bit what they want, which I'm fine with. We're very flexible, because this client said, I only want this, and then they said, you know what? When we came out to the job, they asked for 3 more cameras. I'm not going to tell them no. I ordered the cameras. And so we're going to be installing 3 more cameras than we originally thought we were going to install, which is exactly great for us. As long as they are adding, we really don't have any issue. If they want to reduce a job after they've already gave us a deposit, we have to talk about that. But generally, we're flexible. And I can't really think of too many times it's ever happened where they go, we thought we wanted it, now we want less. Almost always what they do, especially as they see the cameras go up or the Wi-Fi go up, we'd love to have Wi-Fi over here, and we'd love to have a view from a camera over here, and we love these additional things. So we keep a lot of this stuff in stock, so we just say, no problem, we got them on a shelf, and we'll run one out there. But of course, that's also what sucks up some of my time, is running one out there, because that way I don't want my guy leaving, coming back, so we can keep the job flowing and get it all done. Because if you bump one job schedule, it messes up a lot of our schedule. But I just want to share my thoughts on that, and let you guys know I'm still working on more YouTube videos on all kinds of stuff. I got a big list, but this stuff is what actually pays my bills right now, not YouTube. So I really have to make sure all of these processes are flowing forward and moving forward with customers. As always, if you like the content here, like and subscribe. Hopefully this information was useful or makes you think about workflow, and share with me some of your workflow that you're doing on this. I mean, that's always a concept we're working on. You can go through the history of our videos and see how we do things. We're very open about it. And if you have other questions about business operations, throw it out there to us. We don't mind talking about it on Vlog Thursdays and how we do things, or making specific videos on how tasks are handled internally within my company. I like sharing that. I like helping other business owners, and if any of this is useful to you to help refine your process in IT, awesome. Glad it helped you. Once again, thanks again.